Have you been in a relationship and felt hopeless, maybe helpless, maybe stuck? Maybe you're at the place where you feel sad, where you feel guilty, where you feel like it's your fault. A lot of times we find people in toxic relationship that are depressed. They're not motivated to move ahead, and they're not motivated to get free from that toxic person and from the abuse that they're actually suffering. Have you ever thought about the connection between narcissistic abuse and self-worth and your self-esteem? Maybe you found yourself that you were originally confident, happy, like a person that had hobbies, that had friends, and now you feel like there's nothing. That you feel like you're stuck, that you feel like you don't know what to do, and you're not sure what the problem actually is. I want to talk to you today about the link between narcissistic abuse and depression, some of the signs, some of the impact, and some of the healing. If you guys are new, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist, and I'm on this channel to help people get awareness of what narcissistic abuse actually is. I do that from sharing my story, from sharing things that I've learned, and sharing the mindset of the toxic person, of what they're actually doing to you and how that actually looks. Well, when we talk about narcissistic abuse and depression as a whole is fairly common, unfortunately. Like, it's common in just the world and society, and affects millions of people on a day-to-day basis. And you struggle with a place of being hurt and having these hard feelings that you have to process. Feelings of sadness, feelings of hopelessness, of helplessness, of a loss of interest in activities and hobbies. Oftentimes we see this when you're with a toxic person. If you get to the place where you remember, I used to be this way, I used to feel this way, I used to enjoy X, Y, and Z, but I no longer do. Now I'm stuck at the place where I only want this. I only want to be able to have this reality, but it doesn't feel like it's even worth it, or it doesn't even feel like you can. And people oftentimes struggle with this concept and struggle what they're actually going to do because they don't have a purpose or a vision or who they actually are or the direction they want to go. Sometimes you're stuck with these feelings of sadness that seem to push you down into deep, deep depression, and you're not sure how to get out. You might lose interest in your hobbies and your abilities. It might be difficult to be able to concentrate at home or at work or whatever it might be. And you might deal with insomnia. You might deal with headaches. There is a litany of different things that people struggle with when they are with a toxic person. Depression is just one category, one slice of the pie. Besides many other things with autoimmune disease, different things that pop up that actually impact your body in such ways that you'd never believe just by being in a traumatic and a toxic environment 24/7. But we see this happen time and time again when people are with a toxic person for an extended period of time. I mean, think of it as being around a toxic waste dump. Over a period of time, you're going to get affected by that toxicity that is actually happening around you. And that's what happens with narcissistic abuse. It affects you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It hurts your sanity. You're driven to a place where you feel like you're insane. You don't actually know what's true, what's right, what's real. And this is where depression and anxiety oftentimes step into the play. And oftentimes this anxiety piece leaves you in the moment of I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to do. And when you're left in that limbo land for such a long period of time, oftentimes it leads to depression because you're overwhelmed with the two biggest decisions of your life. Trusting a person that keeps abusing you, or leaving and surviving without that person. And that leaves you in this land of I don't know what to choose. It hits your self-worth. It hits your self-esteem. You feel just kind of lackluster, walking through your day and confused and lost. The hard part is sometimes you don't even notice that there's emotional abuse until a therapist lets you know, or a friend called it out, or someone was that's not normal. And if you're not careful, you start to beat yourself up even more. Of why did I even stay in this relationship so long? Why did I even do this? And it's important to understand that narcissists learn to manipulate and learn to groom you in multiple ways to make you stay longer, to make you stay in a relationship that you don't actually want, but it feels like you want it because you slowly develop almost like an addiction from the possibility of that person actually changing, actually growing, actually being better. But they don't. And they keep doing it over and over again to you, and you're left hurt and discouraged and disappointed in the change that you thought that they were going to have, but they didn't. So you walk through life depressed with nothing else going in your corner and you're not really sure what to do. And instead, you feel lost. A lot of times people are stuck in this place where you feel lost and you don't actually know how to get out. You don't actually know what's going on. And you put yourself down because you've been in it so long. You put yourself down because maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's not his fault. Like, he cheated on me, but maybe I could have done something different. I could have done something better. Maybe you would have come back if I would have done this. Like, we start to spiral out in all these different aspects, and it leads to further depression, further frustration. And you start to wonder, like, I guess I'm just not good enough. I guess I'm not a good friend because I don't have any friends anymore. Not realizing that he's the one that drove off all your friends. Or he made you drive off all your friends because you were involving them too much in y'all's personal life. You're actually sharing the frustrations and the struggles that you had in being with a toxic person, and that wasn't good. You're not allowed to air our dirty laundry to the neighbors. You're not allowed to tell our business to friends and family. But instead, keep quiet is the idea. So the narcissist can control you to be able to control the mask, to be able to control their image, to be able to control the things that get said and done to them so they can protect the person that's inside that doesn't want to be revealed. That's why they develop two different masks. Breaking out of this depression is very hard for a lot of people. Because until we understand what you're dealing with, it's almost impossible to get you out of it. Until you understand where you are, it's almost impossible to see a new possibility. Until you understand that the depression that you're under right now is caused by the toxic person. It's caused by what they've said to you, what they've done to you. It's caused by how he's made you feel. It's caused by how he's belittled every single thing about you. From the things you wear to the extra pound you put on, like whatever it is, like he's putting you down on a day-to-day basis to make you feel bad about yourself. But when you feel bad about yourself, he feels better about himself because it makes him feel superior. It makes him feel like he's better than you. When in reality, he's not. But he thinks that. So that's why he keeps putting you down over and over and over again. This is what locks you into this aspect of depression. So breaking out is we have to change your perspective of what's actually happening in the relationship. We have to breathe truth into the area of your life that you're struggling with, and then we need to give you a direction. We need to help you actually move forward. Once you break free out of the lies and out of the stories that they tell you, and then we need to help define what's going on in the narcissistic relationship, reactive abuse, the boundaries, the trauma bond. We walk you through all that, and then we need to give a direction. Who are you? What is your purpose? Where are you going? What is the direction that you actually are going? What do you actually want? A lot of people want a healthy, a loving, and a great relationship. And so we have to take a step back and be like, when we look at the facts of your current relationship, does that give you what you want? And you're like, no. Okay, then why are we still in it? Then what do we need to do? Then how do we need to change? Then what do we need to say or do differently or change our perspective to be able to move forward in the direction that we actually desire? But until we do that, you are stuck in the place where you think that it's going to get better, but it never does. It just keeps you in this loop over and over and over again. You're thinking, I can't get out of it. I'm not strong enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have the confidence. So we start to build into your life on a day-to-day basis repetition. Repetition breeds confidence. When you first went to tie your shoe, you weren't great at tying your shoe. But now after tying your shoe 1,000,000 times, you're pretty good at tying your shoe. You don't even think about it. It just happens like that. That's what we start to bring back into your life on that base level. We start to bring in checklists that are guiding you toward your direction, like ideas of this is what I need to do today to move me towards the goal that I'm moving towards, to move me in the direction of getting the direction that I want to go, of getting that goal, getting that promotion, getting that relationship, getting that connection that I'm actually looking for. We start to build a daily checklist things to help you move forward, and that repetition of putting a target on the board, accomplishing it, and then being like, I actually did that, now I can do another one, starts to build your confidence. It then starts to help you build boundaries. Boundaries, a lot of times we focus on, are very directional focused. I want to live a life that is loyal and trustworthy and has integrity. Well, that means the person in your life right now doesn't need to be in your life because they're not promoting that. They're not helping you with that. They're not supporting you with that, and they're not going the same direction. And so we focus on building boundaries to keep you safe in the direction that you're wanting to go. A lot of times I don't focus on developing boundaries early on when you're first understanding narcissistic abuse because I don't think it really helps. A lot of times they just get blown over. And at this point, you've been used so many different times, that boundary you set up just gets knocked over every single time. And it ramps you up to the place of saying, okay, I just need to leave because this person doesn't respect, doesn't love, and doesn't care about me. But then as we move forward, boundaries become even more essential to keep you from going back and to keep you from getting pulled to the side of the direction that you actually want to go. So we work on understanding it, we work on developing a direction, we work on building your confidence, we work on establishing boundaries, those guardrails to keep you locked in the direction that you actually want to go. We try to help you establish a brand new way of life based on the truth of the situation and to move forward of what needs to be done, of what is required to help you move forward and to get clear on the person you are and the person you want to be. That's what we try to do every single day with Raw Motivations. If you're interested in that, if that's something that speaks to you and it hits home and that you want help with, please reach out. Go to rawmotivations.com, click on the one-on-one. Would love to be able to have you join one of our challenges, to work with you one-on-one, to get involved in our Thriver community. Anything we can do to help you break free and then accelerate your life moving forward into the person that you're called to be, into the person that you want to be.